In this video, I will explain you the easiest way to maximize your B2B SaaS growth while keeping a lean team. I decided to record this video after meeting one founder who has been able to scale beyond 100K MRR. And while many entrepreneurs watching this video may think that this is like a fantastic success, don't get me wrong, I do agree that less than 5% of startups ever get there in B2B SaaS space, especially if you look at ones which have no venture funding. But when he came to the call, it was very easy to read from his face that he is far from celebrating it. Because out of this 100K in revenue that he's been able to reach, and this like 100K MRR, his costs for a B2B SaaS startup are insane, because he's burning something like around 30-40K on the product part alone, while selling a product for less than 1K a month. And the fun part is that he also has a team of something like 25, 30 people doing cold outbound calling. And he came to me because he understood, like, yes, he got to this 100K a month goal, 6-figure run rate, looks awesome on paper, but his startup is a complete mess. And the reason behind it is, yes, sure, he got to this celebratable milestone, but he got there through such a grind approach that's like, it would be blowing my mind, because selling a solution for, let's say, I think 90% of their sales are coming into a subscription between $200 and something like $400, which for B2B to me is quite low. And the way he went about it is, instead of trying to go up market or go for different upsells and stuff like that, he just decided to grind his way through this. However, just the day he celebrated this 100K a month, he realized that this is a nightmare business to run. And there is like, imagine how much enjoyment you can find in this when your profit margins are minimal. You need to manage such a huge team, and at the same time, you're like, to keep this behemoth running, you need to be spending tens of thousands in development costs, which are, unless your plan is to just hit this number and exit straight away, it's not that perfect of approach. Because at the same time, I'm working with a couple other startups that were able to get to this amount, having a team of roughly 5 to 8 people, and a couple people in sales, customer support, few developers, selling 10K to 20K a year subscriptions, no headache at all. And just, well, you can understand how much different people who are paying $150 to $200 are in terms of support, comparing with the ones who are able to wire you like 20, 25K checks, and who are used to sending 50 to 100K wires. You would imagine that these ones are not bombarding your customer support on Sunday evening. So with the goal from this video is to explain to you that it's not necessary to go and grind your way through this, even though there are, of course, some periods where you need to like push the pedal and like put a ton more energy. But I'm just telling you that you are the one who chooses how your business is going to look like, and there is no right or wrong way to it. Because some person may love $1 billion a month type business, where 999 millions out of it are costs, and at the same time they employ something like 20,000 people. Oftentimes, I speak with founders who would much rather prefer having a lean team, predictable growth, and just a sustainable organization where they are not waking up seeing not 10 but like 1,000 burning support requests, refund requests, and all this nightmare headache. So look, one way which we're going to start with here is, I'll just tell you, if you go through your startup journey via the high intent scaling route, then instead of you trying to sell to everyone, you're focusing on those people who are looking for a solution like yours, who are in the market for it. And at least this way you can pass through initial like traction stages, and then you can of course focus on brand building, etc., in longer term. But many times when founders come to me, they are looking at 6 to 12 months initial horizons in which they want to get some quick wins, and many times they're not as conscious about, okay, like our brand 5 years from now. I understand that this is like a second priority here. So one thing which you can understand is why I love ads, having used tens of different ways of growing B2B SaaS startups, is because they are they are the leanest way for you to grow your company, because it's the only way how with just click of few buttons you can start growing 2x the speed, 3x and 4x. And sure, I'm a bit over exaggerating, because fine, when you start onboarding 4 times as many people, you need to couple additional hires as well, but still compare this to placing 30 more outbound cold callers making 100 dials a day each, who you all need to manage so that they show up and do the work. Well, it's night and day. So one thing which affects the type of people you are selling to and type of people who are engaging with your offering is the ad format you're using. Because if it looks creepy, ugly, etc., it's just going to be attracting the wrong people. Yes, please don't get me wrong. At the start, it's fine for you to use simple ad formats to just understand which direction you should go with your messaging. And that's why inside SaaS Camp, I give people all the proven templates for ads, which have been used by all the startups inside the program and have already booked them like thousands of product demos and generating them millions in sales. But again, for the start, simple design works. However, it's important that the ad format you are using resonates with the person you are showing it to. In simple terms, if you're selling something design related, you can't get away with ugly design. If you're selling something marketing analytics related, you can't get away with having very basic analytics and not speaking anything high level, not speaking high level marketing in your ad, especially like if you're running as to sophisticated marketing audience. Next one, again, is your message. So one thing is you can't try to get buyers for your design SaaS solution having creepy design in your ads. Hence, the ad format should be coherent. Second thing is the message, because if your message does not speak to people who are in the market and who are looking to invest in a solution like yours, guess what? You're going to be getting calls with people who aren't looking to invest in a solution like yours. And now you can imagine, like, say you have 10 calls with one type of people a week, 10 calls with other type of people a week, and then you multiply it by 52 weeks in a year. Guess how much easier it would be for the startup getting calls with proper people to grow by an extra million or a couple million by the end of the year. Telling you from experience, a ton. And that's why, indeed, just the thing you need to understand is you are choosing what you put here, and it's not that you must adjust to like certain set of rules or like limiting beliefs, because you are the one who is choosing who you're selling to, and in the other words, choosing how your ad campaigns and like outbound campaigns, who they're going to be targeting and what your messaging is going to be there. Next one, which I see too many people are not utilizing at all, too many people are not utilizing at all, is filtering out irrelevant people and dequeuing them. And you had a sneak peek to the other one. One of the most crucial parts of designing any lead flow with B2B SaaS founders I'm focusing on is having strict disqualification mechanisms. Because guess what? If you can teach Facebook algorithm, meta algorithm, to give you the right type of people and only feed those type of people as qualified prospects, then it will learn that you need more of those rather than for the rubbish ones. After a couple of months, again, this leads to a completely different outcome in terms of your pipeline and cash collected. That's why, again, neglected far too often, this disqualification mechanisms is one of the most crucial aspects to any campaign I put my hands on, because if you can be more strategic in terms of who exactly you're looking for, who you are not looking for at all, and then imagine you go through 50 people, let's say you had 100 prospects, 5 told you, hell yes, that's exactly what we need, where do we wire the money? And then there were, say, 30 who were like ghosting you, not looking for your solution, just shopping around, etc. If you can look at your call notes and see how you can disqualify the ones which you don't need, again, yes, short term, you're gonna get couple fewer bookings. However, I'm just telling you that it's gonna be tens of, like if you're doing mid-market B2B SaaS sales, it's gonna be tens of thousands of actual proper buyers that you can be selling to. So don't get fooled thinking that, oh, you must go through like 100 shitty prospects to finally get in front of the good ones. No, the way it works is you figure out how to get in front of the good ones and just keep getting the good ones. You don't need to like play the such broken numbers game of getting through a pile of tire kickers just to find couple relevant people who are actually worth speaking to and investing energy in, because you're much better off spending 2 times as much effort and energy into the decent buyers whose LTV is going to be 10 times more, like 10 times larger, rather than like splitting all your time and effort across like 50 or a few hundred shitty leads. And then the last one I have here for today is the buyer journey, because it's not just the ad, not just the disqualification, or not just what happens in a call. You need to be looking at your buyer journey as a whole to make this really work and to start growing your B2B SaaS a lot quicker while keeping a lean team. Because if you don't have coherency between your ad, message, sales call, and type of support you give in the product, a lot of things break. And that's how you, even if you win some business, you see a lot of churn. That's why you need to make sure that your entire buyer journey, from what happens before the call, on the call, and after the call, is all coherent and makes sense with one another. And that's why whenever I would be helping B2B SaaS founder scale their startup, we would be analyzing what happens from the first moment of someone seeing the ad all the way to them getting connected with customer support manager to then get more wins from the product. Because if your ad says something like double your business in 5 days, and you win some deals this way because some people get to the calls and you end up selling your solution to them, then don't get surprised that when a legit customer success manager starts working with them, this success manager quits your company because, well, they just see how can they possibly be trying to go around this, how can they service type of prospects which have already been gotten into your product with extremely inadequate expectations. And that's how you don't just keep the good customer support manager this way, because if they see that you're getting people in who they cannot retain, why would they stay with you? And the opposite happens when everything makes each other component stronger. When your ad is coherent with your message, then the person on a sales call also follows similar message and same set of beliefs, and same happens for a customer support manager, so that the whole buyer journey makes complete sense. And this is how you get a ton of referrals to start growing even quicker without additional hires. Appreciate you watching this one, and talk soon.